And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show. And this is going to be episode 306. So I hope you guys had a great day and I hope you guys have a great weekend that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, we are going to be talking about the man who killed Charlie Kirk gets arrested. So they finally caught the guy who assassinated Charlie Kirk on September 10th, and it has caused a storm to happen on social media as far as what was this guy's true motivations. Was he radicalized? Everything from every single point of this guy's life has been dissected within the past 24 hours, which has been insane. So I know you guys are expecting a Charlie Kirk video because with every other popular figure, we've did that for them. And I've thought about that video and what it would look like today. And we are going to do that. And we're probably going to end up doing it on Wednesday's MSK show episode this week coming up, because I just wanted to make sure all the information came out before I made any like videos and talking about certain things. I did that with a lot of people. Like even, do you remember Mr. Beast's friend who turned out to be a freaking creepy Yetaphile? Yeah. I waited a while to do that video with Chaz. And we did like an hour-long video, receipts everywhere. So I would like to, when I do videos like that again, you know, I would like to make sure all the information is out there because information changes so fast and things happen so quick. You want to make sure you're operating with all of the information at once to make a, you know, calm and precise video, actually. But Lunchbox Warren's here. What's going on, man? How are you doing?
Well, doing pretty good. Just watching the shock wave of Charlie Kirk's assassination essentially just drive a big old huge wedge. It's one of the more bigger events to happen in a long time. The way it's kind of gone through the way it's kind of gone through the whole social media, the people celebrating, it's been a friggin' weird couple days. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Also, you know, there's been a lot of people that have celebrated Charlie Kirk actually, you know, getting assassinated. And this is just my opinion. This is what MSK, Top G, Riz Master, Aura Farmer is saying. I'm going to be honest with you guys. These people that are on the left, a good amount of them, and I'm not going to say all, but I'm going to give a percentage out since percentages kind of work with like 100% usually in my brain. I think if we're going off of like percentages, yeah, there's some people that obviously disavowed this and they didn't like it. Like, I will say, despite the narrative being that every single Democrat and progressive celebrated it, it's kind of wrong. I've seen prominent figures go, no, I do not agree with that. Now, do they really mean that? Or are they just saying that for the, you know, Twitter, for the social medias of the world and the cameras? Who knows, right? But I think one of the videos that I saw, I think it was Nancy Pelosi. She was doing this press conference with Fox. She was about to leave or whatever. And she had said, well, when we were calling them these things, so it was a coordinated effort, right? So already kind of giving away the playbook. There was a coordinated effort. She had said, it was never our intention for anyone to like do anything with those words. I have the video up here. I'm just paraphrasing for the conversation right here. And it's like, so that pretty much just absolves them of any level of responsibility, just saying things like that. Like, this is the problem, is that, like, I'm not saying, like, yes, words having consequences. If you do that thing that I talked about, I think on the last episode that we had, you know, I talked about it's a seed you plant and then it just kind of grows and grows and grows like a tree seed, and it just kind of sprouts and grows however it's going to grow. It's going to grow big or it's going to grow small, right? They planted these seeds for so long, and then people are, you know, very deranged and acting out and celebrating someone getting assassinated publicly, right? To the point where it's one of those things where it's like, how, like, that could only get this far when a seed is planted and it's just sprouting at that point.
You know, it's, you know, I saw someone made a 3D printout, a model of Charlie Kirk being shot. I've seen T-shirts that say "debate this," and it shows Charlie Kirk with blood splattering out of the neck. It's been all over. I mean, there's campuses where kids are celebrating, they're throwing parties. TikTok, it's a bunch of people on there are celebrating. There's been a
It's
rapid
crazy.
firings because of the people who just said disgusting, terrible things. And it is really sick to watch.
But I also want to point out, as much as those people that didn't like him are celebrating it, his impact and positivity that he did have on people that did like him is insane. Like, and that's how you know this guy was impactful, because all these people have just been celebrating him, and it's something that I've not seen this in a person that was mostly just like a YouTube figure, because he had Turning Point USA. He founded that with his wife, and they turned that into something big. And then they managed to do all of this stuff. And he's been pretty influential. I mean, guys, when was the last time you saw people really just kind of stop what they're doing to just focus in on one thing this hard because it impacted them that much?
Yeah. Well, and he
Okay,
got.
so this is something that people have said on Twitter that I will answer here. Spreading positivity that you need to talk to the next generation and not let them just hear one side of the political talking aisle. The debate he had with that one white girl, where she tried to show her fucking boob or something, try to get his video taken down, where he was like, I'm talking to voters. I'm not just talking to college kids. Like, people always demeaned him for talking to college kids because they deemed college kids as idiots, right? But he didn't see them as idiots. This is the thing that people aren't getting. He saw, from what I saw, he just saw them as regular people that were maybe kind of misguided.
Well, I
and
mean,
just talked to them.
Charlie wasn't perfect. Charlie had very controversial opinions on stuff. But the thing is, though, is that like he never advocated for violence. He never he was always just about the debate. He would debate anybody. And some people,
Well, I don't think you can be transphobic, Anthony. I don't think trans people exist, in my opinion. Also, the trans people that he talked to them respectfully. He talked to them fine, in my opinion. Homophobic comments. I don't remember.
Okay.
I think there was one that people are taking out of context. It might be the wrong one. The tweet that I saw, I think I bookmarked it.
Well,
it wasn't that bad.
It depends like what was said. Like if you think he's transphobic because he doesn't believe that a trans woman is a real woman, then if that's your definition of transphobic, well then yeah, then I guess he'd be transphobic in your world. That's just debate on whether or not along those lines. It all depends on how on what comments that was said. Like you'd have to bring up, like if he said something that was like completely crazy. I don't know. Yeah, even like mentioned even Stephen King mentioned about the stone throwing to gays was that was BS. That wasn't, he never said that.
Also, man, yeah, he did not demean them at all. Stephen King admitted he lied about the gays being stoned. Yeah, I have to find the bookmark tweet here.
All he did was debate college kids. All he did was debate college kids. All he did was have controversial opinions. None of that justifies.
Is it controversial to say what is a woman?
Even I'm just giving benefit of the doubt.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Like, okay, let's, none of it. Like the point of this whole thing, that the tragedy here is that he was killed for talking, for having ideas, for having opinions. He was essentially a moderate Christian Republican, one of the more old school types, and he was killed for it. So let's not gloss over the whole whataboutisms and I don't like what he said here and I don't like his opinions on trans people when and talk and let's talk about the importance of the fact that a man was killed, and in a large section of people who oppose of his opinions are celebrating and justifying him being killed. And if they can do it with him, They're going to do it with other people. And that could also drive the extremes on the other side to start doing it also. So we need to get out of this whole mindset where it's like, well, yeah, I thought he was a misogynist and he was a homophobe, tramophobe, racist along those lines. None of that
Should mean he
justifies
just gets assassinated publicly.
assassinating
Yeah.
him in front and killing him. None of that justifies it. So, are we going to talk about Charlie Kirk as the man, or what we're talking about here is about the fact that a debater who went around in colleges and talked to children or talked to kids has been killed. And then people on the far left of the Democratic Party in this progressive woke area are celebrating a large swath of them. They're making t-shirts. They're making stickers. They're making songs. The trans group just recently made a song about setting Elon Musk on fire.
There was a black guy just today on Twitter that said, why don't we just take out his wife next?
So we have to be, we can play the whole both sides thing, but we need to talk about what's going on right now on one side that you don't see anywhere else.
Yeah.
When those 3 politicians were killed in Minnesota, you didn't see Republicans making t-shirts of it and having parties. You didn't see young Republicans dancing in the street. You didn't see them going around and chanting about it. So when they do, we're going to have to call them out and talk about how disgusting it is. But right now, we're seeing it all over here. And right now, it is getting very dangerous on what these people are justifying. So we have to be very careful, because what happens, because right now, there's a large swath of people that think it'd be completely justified to have Trump killed, or if Trump was killed, would not lose a wink of sleep if an American president was assassinated, would actually be happy. So that's a problem.
Thing. I want to add another thing to that too. Let's use 9/11. 9/11, which just happened yesterday, which is one of the most devastating, tragic events in USA history, right? Yeah. American history. Someone said, if it happened today, and all those white people were still alive today, and that happened to them, so they lived thin, and then it happened now, as if it was yesterday, people would celebrate it. And I was like, yeah. Just imagine all those white people, all the people, not white, but we know white gets more hated than other races. But I'll say this. Let's just say all those people that died in 9/11 lived until today, and they actually died yesterday in 2025, September 11th. Would it be celebrated? Like, you got to think like, yeah. And it's sad to say that, because these people have now gotten to the point where they say certain things that they themselves contradict. So what was the thing that people had said? Because this is what Grapists said. They were like, but she was wearing that certain outfit, so she was just asking for it. Do you guys know that's the same logic that you use with Charlie Kirk? Well, he was using certain dangerous words, so that means he was kind of asking for it.
That's using my analogy. That's mine.
That's the same logic. That's literally the same logic. When a grapist says, oh, well, she was asking for it, she was wearing like almost nothing, so I had to go for it. So I know you guys don't agree with that. I know nearly 100%, there's 100% of us don't agree with that. Grapists are fucking disgusting people. You should be thrown off a building, in my opinion. You should be, I can't use those words, just thrown off a building in Minecraft, allegedly, said by a hot rich guy named MSK on YouTube. Okay? So, what part of that does not translate into your single argument? Okay? So, people have said, let's just even say, for the arguments of what it is, he was everything you said. Even if he was, that still doesn't mean he should die. You know, I'm just saying it right here. You can be racist under free speech. Do I agree with it? No, but that's what free speech is. Also, for people to say like he said hurtful things to gay people, this is what he said about gay people. No, that wasn't about gay people. I think it was 9/11. No, I think, yeah, this was tweeted out in 2020. This was tweeted out years ago. This is what he said, because people factor in he's a Christian. They don't believe in gay marriage. I'm sorry, this is how it works, but I don't think he just deserves to die over that. This is a tweet that he had right here. This is in 2019, so I believe marriage is one man and one woman. Also, gay people should be welcome in the conservative movement. As Christians, we are called to love everyone. I will always stand against people who wish to establish their own personal values as a reason to kick others out of our movement. Does that sound like a hateful, hurtful person? I'm just pointing out here that when he had conversations with people that other people say that he was saying hurtful things to, I never took that away. If anyone took that as hate, that means one of two things. Your brain is not processing information or interactions correctly, or you are just completely projecting your own bullshit into something to make it seem like it's something that it isn't. Because a lot of people do that. A lot of people in their brain make up scenarios that are happening when they're not happening. So me and Chaz last night on my League of Legends stream that I do with him sometimes when he goes there, we watched I rewatched because I already seen it. I rewatched one of the Troon debates he had with someone, and it wasn't even a debate. The person just said, "Hey, I've been feeling this way since I was 3 years old. What do you think is the best course of action?" And he had just said, "Hey, I'm going to tell you something a lot of people won't tell you. I think you should get comfortable in your own skin." Does that sound like a hateful person? Does that sound hateful? You can go watch it. And that's why I tell you, do not take my word for it. Go watch it yourself. That's literally word for word what he said. He said, I think you should get to feel comfortable living in your own skin. Sound like a hateful person? There was a gay conservative white guy that came up to the mic to talk to him back before the election happened. I think it was a month before it. It was in like Alabama or some shit. And the guy started with like, "Hey, I'm a gay conservative." And he said, "Hey, don't lead off with that you're a gay conservative. That doesn't matter. That it's all that matters is that you're a conservative. And you are just gay." You see? I'm just pointing out how just people need to understand intent matters, and perceiving hate out of everything just is going to make you go insane, because that actually essentially is going to make you paranoid, and you're just going to think everything that someone just says that you disagree with, you're going to think is just hate, and when in reality that's just not a thing. Like there's times in life you need to assess what is what thing. Not everything blanket is that. As I always say, intent matters, not just what is said. Like, okay, so if me and you were having a heart-to-heart right now, and I was like, Warren, your YouTube channel, your content could be a lot better, and I know you can get a lot better at making it, and I know you can do better at making videos. Okay, so would you take that as a hateful thing, is what I just said?
No.
Yeah, most normal people won't, because what was the intention by when I said I led off with, I think you can do better. It's very simple, right? I think people aren't really listening as much as they say they are. They're kind of hearing things, but they're not really listening and paying attention,
Well, here's the thing. Like, you're in the chat, they're asking about it too. It's like, has he said hateful things towards trans people? Well, define what you think a hateful thing is. If he said, "I don't believe that the trans person is the actual biology that they identify with," so if a man transitions into a woman, they want to believe that they are biologically a woman, and he says, "No, I don't agree with you." Is that hateful? If he says that in his opinion homosexuals shouldn't get married, is that hateful? Because the reason why I say this is, like, I don't think there's any video of him dressing down or screaming or
there's never a video of this. Like, people have said he's racist and all that
to
stuff.
a trans person.
Yeah.
It's just him spouting his idea, and that is like, which is an idea that many people have, where it's like, yes, you may feel that you are this other sex or gender, but you're not biologically that gender. So, like, if he says you can't, men shouldn't be on women's sports teams, is that hateful?
So you said right here, I don't know if this is true, because people have said a lot of things that he said, but got to point out, we'll just use this as an argument. He said multiple times on a show where he says the gay community shouldn't exist. I mean, That's his opinion. I mean,
And that's another point too. And WZ said it too. It's like it doesn't really matter what he said because none of that matters in what the situation that we're talking about. We're talking about him be assassinated for an opinion, and we're talking about a culture growing in the Democratic Party in its far fringes to the left that are starting that have justified murder by demonizing their opponents. And the demonization happens on both sides from the top down. You have Republicans saying horrible things about Democrats and Democrats saying horrible things about Republicans. And we've all watched this. They have debates. They call each other names. Coward. Blah blah blah. Well, what's been happening is from the top down on the Democrat side, everyone is, and we heard this a lot during Trump's election. Trump is a fascist. He's a Nazi. Trump is Hitler. Charlie Kirk is Hitler. Everyone who doesn't agree with me is Hitler. Racist, trans. They want to put trans people in camps. They want to kill your kids. All of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that the shooter that shot him was a radicalized leftist after a few years in college. His high school friend who was interviewed by the Guardian said that he was
we're gonna go over that right now. Yeah, we're gonna go over him in just a moment. Yeah.
And he got radicalized and he believed that
Hi, Kingstyle.
Hey, what's up, Kingstyle? He believed that Charlie Kirk was a fascist and a hateful, terrible person, and he deserved to die. He's mimicking, or he's sounding the same things that's being said from like Pelosi on down. So, the thing is it's like we said, it's not about what he said. It's about this is where propaganda can take you. And we have to stop all the propaganda. We have to stop all of this demonization of our enemies. We have to be able to have positive, peaceful political discourse. But we can't do that right now because there is a hardcore demonization going on the left right now. And we've been seeing it with cancel culture. We've been seeing it with all through here, and now it's kind of come to a head with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And so the colleges are very hardcore left. So it's and I'm not saying that the other side doesn't have problems too. They both have extremes. They have some pretty hateful people over there too. But right now, the other side is very, very violent, and they're justifying death, and they've completely dehumanized their opponents and people who disagree with them. And it's a scary, scary thing right now. Like, I don't want to go out to a rally. I don't want to go out and do anything right now where I don't know some fucking crazy asshole's not going to drive his truck through it. They had a candlelight vigil for Charlie Kirk here in my town, and a leftist came into it yelling how they were all fascists and hate Nazis, and he ended up assaulting a lady. So it's crazy right now.
Yeah. So we're gonna go over this guy right now. So I made sure to bookmark a lot of the stuff here. But before I go over him, this report came out from the Guardian. Miss Anna Betts did it. So this was something that came out earlier today as the guy was arrested. And it also highlights some very important things. So in a phone interview on Friday, one of Tyler Robinson's high school friends who asked to remain anonymous said that the suspect was pretty left on everything and was the only member of his family that was really leftist. The rest of his family was very hard Republican, the friend said. Around sophomore year, the friend said Robinson became more extreme in his political views and would always just be ranting and arguing about them. The friends said that they played video games together a lot in high school and noted that the bullet engraving with the arrows was a reference to Helldivers 2, which we mentioned earlier. He said that the arrows specifically were in reference to calling in a big bomb that exists in the game called the 500 kilogram. When the friend saw the news on Friday, he said that he was shocked. Quote, I knew Robinson had strong political views, but I never thought it would even go that far.
Oh yeah, this guy was on Antifa discords. The other bullets had belled, or was it Ciao Bello, which is the Italian song they used as when they were fighting against the Nazis, and it was adapted by Antifa more recent years. And he had a "Hey fascist catch" written on it. So I mean, this guy was essentially, he was Antifa. He was far left, according to his friends and family, and so it's. But again, um, yeah, it's this whole thing is just so effed up. I mean, we'll know more next week as more stuff comes. This is barely into it, and there is a lot of stuff flying around, so we'll find out more.
So this was when this was the first. I think this was one of the first ones I had bookmarked today. So give me 1 second here. Kingstyle, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you? How you guys doing?
Okay, good. You're good. Awesome. So just in, 22-year-old Utah resident Tyler Robinson has been taken into custody. The assassination of Charlie Kirk, according to the Daily Mail, Robinson was reportedly turned in by his father. The killer then confessed to his father, who is a 27-year-old veteran of the Washington County Sheriff's Department. The Daily Mail reported his father then contacted authorities and then secured his son before he could be taken into custody. So what I also heard was that when the son got home, he pretty much basically confessed that he also wanted to off himself. So this is how you torture this guy. He wants to die right now. Oh, it's cool. Just staying like life in prison then. That's the worst. That's a fate worse than death, in my opinion, because he knows his life's over. So he's like, you know what? I already did what I needed to do. Time to off myself. Nah, buddy, don't work like that. Sorry. No, actually,
and you play the Bee Gees "Staying Alive" in the background constantly, just to fuck with them.
Oh,
staying
God.
alive, staying alive.
Like, I'll be honest,
put it on
here.
a loop.
Like, you know what's crazy? So, guys, he wants to stay alive. I have the perfect punishment. Put him in a room in a straitjacket. Strap him to a chair with, like, those giant monitors, like not a computer monitor, like 40K televisions, one on each side of the room. So, like, what is the room? 1, 2, 3. So, like, 3 right there in the triangle. Charlie Kirk debates on loop 24/7. One playing his live stream, one playing the debates, and then one playing him, how he had the shows where he was talking to the college kids inside the building, actually. Torture this guy with Charlie Kirk nonstop, day in and day out. I'll be honest here. My opinion is that you should just hang this person, but we can't do that.
I think if he did do it, right, I'm just gonna say if, because
did you have a suspicion that this wasn't the guy? Because I had the same suspicion too.
Look, look. If you call me a conspiracy nut, whatever, but I'll say this: me and a buddy of mine, who my buddy was in the military, even he was in the military. He's like, that's very weird. You can't be like a crazy kid or a junkie or whatever to do a clean shot like he did. You know what I mean? It's just weird. And not only that, but
I think he had been planning on doing this for a long time, dude. I think he'd been planning on doing this for a while.
But remember, they arrested another guy, and he was old. He was like an old.
I didn't believe that was the guy at all. I'll be honest.
They said he was, and that's why I'm like, what the hell is this going on? Like, now it's like, we made a mistake, guys.
That guy is like a known disrupting protester, and when the shot happened, he started like yelling around, shoot me, and that's why they originally arrested him, and then they arrested somebody else, questioned, and then then dropped that one, and then they got this kid. What's interesting, like this kid was straight A's. He got a scholarship to Utah. His college. I'm not sure if it was Utah, but he got a scholarship. Yeah, I think it was.
It was $30,000 scholarship.
Dude,
yeah.
this
what
kid
happened
could
to him
Oh,
to
go ahead.
cause
My
him
bad,
to
dude.
go kill? Like I get we're talking about the rhetoric and all this stuff, but at the same time, though, that's a big leap. So, like, what else was going on with this kid? Did he have some kind of mental breakdown? Was he, did he get into something? Like what was going on? Because that is a shot that, well, I mean, but apparently he grew up around guns, so it's not unbelievable to believe a hunter could hit a 200-yard shot, especially from an elevated position. So, and that's another good point. Double Z or WZ is like he could have been aiming for somewhere else and then hit the neck.
Dude, we don't even know. He could have been aiming.
We don't know.
Yeah, he could have been aiming for his wife, for all we know.
Well, I mean, he could have been aiming somewhere else on Charlie Kirk and just got lucky.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know anything, and I'm sorry, Lunch, if I interrupted you earlier.
No, it's fine.
I'm sorry, dude. Because also
good.
we're in different states, and also the internet connection. So sometimes little botches here and there.
You better get off that Wi-Fi. The fuck.
It just fucks your flow up a little bit. But it's like, look, I don't know. I don't have all the answers to things. I'm not going to say I know exactly what happened. I don't, and I could be man enough to say I don't know something, and it's just so confusing. But the thing that kind of pisses me off, MSK, you have the black community, and I could say this because I'm Afro Latino, so I'm not, just because my voice sounds Caucasian, that doesn't mean, looks or sounds could be deceiving. I don't like how some of them were celebrating that he died because he was a racist, or they thought he was a racist because they thought Kirk was a racist for some reason. I'm like, dude, if he had a stereotype or was somewhat bigoted, who cares? Somebody lost their dad. Somebody lost their husband. You know what I mean? Like, why is it good for somebody to have a little bit of that? No, but it doesn't matter. Somebody lost somebody. And nobody's looking into the full picture of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, today when his wife made that long video, there was a part I almost just couldn't watch where she had said, because her daughter's 3, the son is like 1, maybe 2, where the daughter basically said like, "Hey, mommy, where's daddy?" And she had said like, he's with Jesus right now, trying to get enough of the money so you can have your blueberries, whatever. It's like, fucking hell. She doesn't even know what happened. She just thinks like dad's gonna just walk into the door, come back in like he usually would do. And that's why I had said to Warren, I think before the show started, was I think for her peace of mind, whether or not he lies or not, I'm not a mind reader. I can't predict for that. Because Trump can get this for her. We know she's directly linked to Trump. This can, and Kash Patel. This is direct stuff.
Oh, definitely.
She needs to ask Kash Patel and Trump, let her have a one-on-one with this guy in an interrogation room because he's fucking insane. Ask him directly to his face, look him in his eye, and ask him why he did it. Because if this guy does get death penaltyed or offed and she doesn't ever know why he did it, that could haunt her forever. And I would not want her to have that. You need to ask this guy straight to his face why the fuck he did that. Because if we find out why he did something like this, then we can understand like, okay, maybe he was told by someone else to do this, or maybe something in his life just broke and he thought Charlie Kirk was going to be the worst thing since anything. Like there's so many answers that I would like answered before this guy is actually executed some way or he rots in jail, and I do truly want it for her sake. Like, I want to see him squirm as he looks her in the eye, knowing that he took away someone's father of their 2 young kids. It's not like the kids are like teenagers, so he got a chance to be with them through like at least a decade of time. These kids are like less than 5 years old. That's insane.
They're not going to remember their father. That's the saddest part. They're not going to know. I had, a cousin, He met my grandma when he was like 1 or 2, right? He was like a baby. She died when he was like 2 years old. He doesn't remember her, right? So imagine like that time frame, right? You barely remember anything when you're in that toddler stage, right?
True. Yeah. It's hard
Only
for me
when
to
it's
remember some
something
of that
great,
time. Yeah.
only something great or something horrific, you're gonna remember it, right? You know, like something like you saw like a dead body while you were on the beach with your family, or your parents gave you the best birthday party ever, right?
Mhm.
You're gonna remember that, because I know I experienced some good stuff and some bad stuff when I was like super young like that. So with the exception of that, they're not gonna remember anything, and it's sad.
Mhm.
They're gonna have ideas. They're gonna look at videotapes or audio files of their dad. That's not enough for these children
Yeah.
to remember their father.
You know what's even worse? People haven't even factored this in yet. He only just died in September. Do you know what's coming up, guys? What is always deemed
Christmas
as the holiday season. It's the biggest time for families to get together and do stuff with their kids. You got Halloween, you have Thanksgiving,
and
Christmas,
Christmas,
and
New
New
Year's.
Year's. Yeah. All the biggest holidays are at the end of the year. And this is going to be the first year she doesn't have her husband to go on I don't think maybe they trick or treat. That's people. I think Christians don't really do that anymore.
Oh,
Let's
they some of them do. Some of
Maybe they
them
had like
do.
a church party or whatever. So like he's not gonna be around for any. Factor this in. This is what this piece of shit took away. He's never gonna be around for any more Halloweens, no more Thanksgivings, no more Christmases, no more New Year's, no more birthdays, no more special occasions. When those kids graduate, when they do turn 18 years old, he won't be there. Just think about what that piece of shit took away.
No family vacations either. They're
Nope,
not going to have a
nothing.
memory of anything.
He won't see his daughter if she does get married. He won't see her get married.
He's not going to
He
see
won't
his
see
son
her
get married or like
have
have a
kids.
child. Yeah, like
Nothing.
it's tragic, man.
Like, and all for what? The guy just wanted to have open, good faith conversation freely up at a mic that you willingly had to walk up to. Keep in mind, people ask him, "You're racist. You're fascist." What type of fascist do you know that allows people to come up and openly disagree with them? What fascist do you know that's like that? It's a fucking that's a new age kind of fascist, in my opinion.
Shooting somebody for what they're saying is fascist. Is fascist by definition.
Yeah, it's also it's also communism too, because like Fidel Castro in like China back in they would fucking kill. Like if you say, I don't think the president or the leader's doing a good job, right? Can you imagine us in America saying that? Like, I don't think Biden or Trump's doing a good job, and we get arrested or worse, we get tortured and killed. You imagine that? Like, just because we didn't like or agreed with a leader. I'm glad I'm born in this country, dude. But you have a dangerous situation like that. Holy shit. Just because somebody doesn't agree or disagrees with you, like, that's insanity.
Well, we have to be careful because you're right, Kingstyle, but we have to be careful right now because this is the kind of stuff that happens that creates laws that restrict speech, where you start getting, like, it's like in England right now, a comedian was arrested for 3 different anti-trans posts that he made, which was like jokes about essentially trans.
There was another one too, remember?
There was another one like a year or two ago. They made a joke in a comedy club and they got arrested for it.
Dude,
we don't want that happening here. Like, we don't want people arrested.
I'm pretty sure you guys seen on Twitter. Old guy in a wheelchair, veteran, served in the military and everything in Britain, retweeted a post, gave someone anxiety, and he got arrested. This guy's like 80.
Yeah, what the fuck is he gonna like, dude? He's too old. Like I don't want to be that guy, right? When they say he's too old for jail, but unless they're like a sick piece of shit, like they killed or raped a woman, or you know what I mean, or tortured, or the most horrific things that you can think of, right? Then okay, I don't give a fuck if you're 80 years old. You're going to fucking jail. Get in that fucking cell right now, you piece of shit. You're lucky we don't fucking do what like China or Saudi Arabia does. Will fucking shoot you or stab you right in front of the public.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, he used to get the guillotine. So, I mean, maybe we should bring that back just for this guy.
When Lincoln got killed, they hung the woman. Remember that?
Remember
She was an
that, yeah.
accomplice.
I remember that.
And that was the last time that they executed a woman. Can you think of anyone, unless she refused arrest and they shot her because they had no choice?
Well, they've done a couple since then, but yeah.
Yeah, but you can't think of it though. I haven't, like, other than that case, like,
well, like I'm talking about recent, like Aileen Warnes was put to death.
Okay.
For the female serial killer who killed men on the side of the road. Stuff along those lines. I mean, executions of women happen
because dude, there was a case with this mother back in the late 70s, early 80s. She killed her 3 children and dumped their bodies in the station wagon.
Oh yeah,
right? And she tried to say a black man did it. She said a black man did it. Well, she didn't use those words, of course.
What was the name of that chick? I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
and if it was a dude, he would have gotten the death penalty, or the cops would have fucking shot him right there and said he resisted arrest, and we had to put him out.
Well, it's also too, like, what state was it in? Like, I live in Washington State, so there's no death penalty here. And we did have a death penalty, but they essentially commuted all the sentences because they can't actually get people to vote away the death penalty, so they just don't put anybody to death here. And so that plays into it too. Like, if you're gonna commit murder, you need to commit murder in a state that doesn't have a death penalty, because then you'll just be in prison for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you don't want to be in Texas killing somebody, and regardless.
This guy was in Utah where they do have the death penalty, but as we find out more, we're gonna find out, was this kid mentally ill? Was this kid getting into something? Was this kid radicalized?
Was he brainwashed by the system? I mean, like college and shit.
Or is all of this going to get swept under the rug, like the kid who shot at Trump? And it's just going to disappear into the ethos.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to bring these various points up before we covered this. This is very important too. So I know people all over social media today were like, well, his parents were Republican and all that stuff. Guys, this is something in life you need to understand. Just because your parents are one thing doesn't mean you are. Now, there's cases where certain kids are what their parents are verbatim, but there's a lot of kids where they're raised a certain way and then they just defect from that, and then they learn a certain way, and then they go, okay, that's not for me. Maybe my parents were right. They eat some humble pie and go, yeah, mommy, daddy, you were right, and then they maybe come back to that other side of the aisle. Just because he was raised a certain way doesn't mean he was at a certain point not going to reject that. All of us at some point don't really believe what our parents are telling us. It's just a thing you go through, you know?
Like, for example, my cousin, he was raised as a Christian. He became an atheist by the time he turned 18. He doesn't believe it, like, because he was forced to go to church. That's what he told me. He's like, it wasn't fair that my dad didn't go to church. Why did I have to go? It was boring, and also I don't believe the way that humanity is, people being treated terribly. Why would God allow that? So that was his reason of being an atheist. I don't agree with that, but that's his view, and it is what it is.
Yeah, and then this notion that this 22-year-old man didn't just reject what his parents had taught him is stupid. Like, yes, people's minds and brains can destroy I would say leave a mindset and destroy a mindset out of their memory.
We have to remember too, and what the kid did was horrendous, but that we're also talking about a 22-year-old kid who now is at the very least never going to see the outside of a prison cell, probably for the rest of his life.
Good.
Well, I'm just saying that there's a tragedy in that too. That is an entirely
I don't think
life. And why? But the reason why I bring this up is because we have to be careful that we can't demonize everybody. We even people who we feel deserve it. Like, something led this kid to do this, and people, this is not a normal thing that people do. And even with the 24-hour a day bombardment of propaganda and division being pumped into us, these still are very rare compared to the amount of people that are in this country.
Yeah.
So we have to be. I don't know. I want. I mean, I don't want to. I'm not. I just want to show like that there is a tragedy to a 22-year-old losing the rest of their
I
life
see what you're
as
saying.
well.
You're
You
saying
know?
I
there's a
get that.
tragedy to like succumbing to absolute darkness. Like he just
Yeah,
let
like
his
this decision he made
I don't
has
agree with it.
ruined.
Only because
Well,
this.
yeah. Well,
I think he's
he
a
made a
grown man.
decision
Yeah.
that's now that is now going to like. There's no redemption to this. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
There's a tragedy to a person losing their entire future, even if that tragedy was caused by their own hand.
But this
There
is what
still is a
Mm.
level
yeah.
of tragedy to that.
But this is what I would say. The reason why I stopped generally thinking along that line is because this is a 22-year-old man. This is not a baby. This is not a teenager who made some unfortunate mistakes. This is a person that went out and, from what we potentially have gathered out of our thinking, obviously, you know, I'm not a clout chaser like you bastards here. Just joking. So yeah, you know, this guy wanted to do this, actively planned to do this, or maybe he was told by someone because those certain messages on a certain Discord. Who knows? Just spitballing here, right? This person went out and intentionally ruin their life. So, and for me, the reason why I can't feel bad about that is because it's not like that. Like, let's say this was a superhero movie. Maybe he was brainwashed to do it, and he didn't want to do it, but he was completely brainwashed by some villain, and he had to do it. That's not this. He willingly went out and ruined his entire life. I can't feel bad for people like that. I stopped doing that because then I realized, you know, they intentionally. A lot, you know, we think about things in life so much. We think and think, and so that's how we are as people. Like, he ruined his life because he wanted to do it, and he even wanted to kill himself right when he got back home. Like, he didn't even value his own life. It's like, why should I value your life if you're going to go out and assassinate someone?
We think life sometimes like it's a movie, a TV show, a novel, or a video game.
Always
like
an art.
It has to be like linear story notes, like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and in between stuff. I'm like, but that's not usually how life.
Oh, I think he left.
No,
You're breaking up, brother.
Oh, King.
Oh, fuck.
You're good. You
Well,
went and became Mr. Krabs.
Oh, there's a Sponge Boy. I love me money.
Oh, God. And you know, Mr. Krabs definitely fingers SpongeBob in the ass. Good Lord. Just pointing out there.
he probably would for money.
No, I'm just saying. But no, it's this other thing we're going to go over here where Charlie Kirk murder suspect Tyler Robinson's family said he had grown more political and disliked Charlie Kirk. Casings also had messages engraved, "Hey fascists, catch. If you read this, you're gay. LMAO. Notices bulge. Oh, whoa. What's this? Bella Chio." And that apparently is slang for something. But
it's
you know,
an Italian fight song that used by the rebellion or used by the revolutionaries when they were fighting the Nazis in World War II. That was later adapted by the Antifa protesters during the riots that were going on.
Gotcha.
So,
Oh, it's Cyfax. I see him in the chat.
Another clout chaser. What's up, you clout chasing bastard? Like, and this is something where, you know, this is going to have ripple effects to some degree. You know, like, I get it. People blame the right and the left. I do, in my honest opinion, think it's a lot of hateful left people that are doing a lot of this. I'm not saying the right is innocent. Like I want to also put it out here that Charlie Kirk actively tried to get the conservative movement to be a lot more, you know, together, but they fought him at every single turn. You know,
well, you have to remember too, all these incidences, except for I don't know with this kid, but all the instances in the past, we concentrate on whether or not they were Republican or Democrat, but they were all all fucking crazy. So it's like, yeah, we need to be careful of radicalized, mentally ill political people. So like, it doesn't matter if they're Republican or if they're a Democrat, we need to be careful if they're having psychotic breakdowns. We need to be, it's like they're going to start going after political people or whoever Hannity tells them to dislike, or apparently whoever, you know, Maddow tells them dislike. So, I mean, there is something with the rhetoric, and that is important, I believe, because with Charlie Kirk's death, the amount of people celebrating it is extremely disturbing. Even with all of the stuff beforehand, we never really saw this kind of celebration. There was some people doing the real distasteful jokes um, about Pelosi's husband, and there's always jokesters, or there's always jokes, and there's always some disgusting stuff. But this was just widespread so much. It was all over, and it was really like going distances, like creating 3D models of him at just as he was shot, with even like the blood on him and the t-shirts and there was just that part was the most, to me, is really the most disturbing thing out of it. Like, even if this kid is a mentally ill far right extremist who hated the fact that Charlie Kirk was questioning Israel, even if that, it's still really disturbing how many people celebrated his death. Like, even if this kid was just not even political at all, he was just lost his mind because he got some bad LSD, it's still disturbing to see the people celebrating. So like, even if the killer wasn't a leftist, the celebrating was very, very disturbing.
Yeah, I just wanted to cover this part where Tyler Robinson's family says that he recently turned to left-wing activism, rejected the values he was raised with, and expressed intense anti-conservative views at a recent family dinner. That's what I got to tell people too. It doesn't matter how he was raised. He didn't end up like that. I don't think it was no fault of his parents at all. Some people just grow up in a perfect home and end up fucked up. That's just, how many times have we seen that in our life? Perfect has
shit. I've been on all three parties before I realized that it was all stupid. I mean, I'm 44. My parents raised me conservative. By the time I was out of high school, I was an atheist, Democrat. And then by the time I got, later on, I kind of went back towards conservatism. And now I'm just kind of like, this whole thing is just broken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another thing that I want to bring up, is, I think Robert Meyer Brunette had brought it up in a tweet where he had said, what happened to the kid? Because his friend had said he had been this way since sophomore year. So he was 22. I think he was the same age as one of my coworkers. So he said he graduated around 2019. He said he only went, the friend who was the source for that Guardians article said that he only went to school for university for like a semester, which is like what, 3 months, I think, or 2 months, I think, roughly.
It's not like you can be radicalized that quickly.
Yeah, there's no way.
Does this guy have CIA ties, like that's
a good question.
LSD question, testing, was he some kind of MK Ultra?
Because his eyes look droopy, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, I agree with you, Lunchbox. Like, his eyes looked off. And when you see these crazy shooters, you notice how their eyes looked all fucked up, like somebody gave them drugs or so, like, it's always that. You notice that their mugshot picture. And I honestly believe it's probably, like you said, like LSD or whatever the fuck they give these guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go down the conspiracy rabbit hole, I mean, they would be like, but at the same time, though, why Charlie Kirk? Like, why?
Walter says, I mean, he went to college in fucking Utah. How radicalized is he really getting there? I mean, have you seen Utah? I mean,
yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know. Have you seen Seattle? But I will say this. There's no way he got radicalized. Okay, I will say this. Maybe it only further manifested his mindset going for that single semester. But apparently, I don't know if you guys saw what I saw today, where apparently he had been on some Discord talking to, he was in Antifa Discord servers.
Well, and he was also big into Reddit, and Reddit was another
Seattle
one.
and Washington? I forget sometimes.
Yeah, Seattle's in Washington. Well, Utah.
You guys did this? Oh, God. No.
Well, like Seattle, for example, like if you drive through Washington, it's mostly just farmers and loggers and fishermen. But the King County, which is the big one, that Seattle, Tacoma, Olympia, those areas essentially make all the decisions of the state. So Washington is a very blue state that has a kind of crusty conservative shell. And it's the same way in Oregon, and it's the same way in California.
All of us are a blue triangle.
The mega cities have the most constant population, so they have the most representatives and they have the most voice. So then the rest of the state, which would be surprisingly country and redneckish and conservative, will be under the rule of a Democratic government or a Democrat government. So yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, we are at a single point where I don't know how the landscape is going to unfold as more things come. I mean, I don't think the blaming on either side is going to stop. That's just never going to happen. That's wishful thinking, but it's never going to stop.
Well,
my
yeah.
my own belief, personally, from thinking about this for a while, is I will say this: it's not about right or left. I do not and will not ever unite with anyone that wants me dead for just having a difference of opinion. I think that is where you need to draw the line in the sand. Actually,
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think people are doing that too much now. Like
that's stupid.
like,
don't join with your enemies. That is the biggest risk of your life. At one moment, if you disagree with one thing they do, they'll go back from square one. You don't want that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I lost a lot of friends being with some of my opinions, and it hurt at first, but I've gotten to the point now where it's like I really didn't really want them as friends. If that was all it was going to take was a little bit of politics, and then all of a sudden now I'm a monster. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't play any games. If you're going to judge me because my politics are different than you, like if you're going to call me a transphobe because I don't believe a person who is biologically born a man is a real woman, then I guess I don't want anything to do with you. It's so intellectually dumb to think that
it
just
is
that quickly.
100% stupid, because
Yeah.
here's the thing. I was raised, right, since I was young, like back 20 something years ago, right? Back
good
in
Lord,
the
you're old. Why are you so old, man?
Yeah, I'm an old man. Yes, I need my walker and my cane. Oh, I need
Back in the
juice.
day, I used to get the back shots from Diddy. Really?
Yeah,
Really?
get the fuck out of here, MSK. Yeah, right. I'd fucking knee him in the face if you try to do that shit.
Dude, they should put Robinson in the same cell as Diddy. Fuck, dude. Right?
Oh my god, that'd be Diddy's heaven. He would love it. Like, dude, I'm serious. I remember saying, like, if you kill Diddy, right? If he died, he'd go to hell. That's his heaven. It'd be like Stink Meter from the Boondocks.
Dude.
He wouldn't care. As long as he's not being raped eternally, if he's doing it for the devil, that would be his heaven.
I just think for
it'd be his
me
heaven.
personally, it's that, like, people talk about uniting. Oh, we have to unite. I'll just point this out just as a thought exercise for anyone's going to listen to this on the replay. All these people that are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, would you ever want to unite with these people?
No.
And not just unite, you would openly talk to them continuously, have connections and relationships. Like, no, these people literally do not like you at all unless you 100% believe everything they say. One simple step out, like a J.K. Rowling who just said, I believe men are men and women are women. Just that one little step out means you're hated by them and you're a phobic insta whatever, right? I just don't think people really understand the context of what they're saying. They're saying we have to unite, but I don't want to do that. We can be cordial is the best. Cordial is the best way. You can always be cordial with someone. You should always be the better person. I agree with that. You can be cordial, but uniting and being friends, no. They want guys.
No.
It's not. They want you dead, literally on the floor, dead.
Or they want to grape you. They want to drug your drink and grape you secretly because you don't want to be. You don't want to be gay. And they're like, oh my god, he's so cute. And you're like, yeah, well, let's just be friends. And then they fucking drug you because you say no to their advances for the 100th time. They're like, well, I don't like the no. It's a yes.
Oh shit.
Well, and you don't.
Sick.
Yeah.
Don't blanket an entire party or an entire people based off the voices of even if it is a larger part of the party. Let's say, for argument's sake, let's say it was 50% of the party.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we need to unify with the other 50% that doesn't think like that. We need to unify as a people. We need to be able to have discourse, debate, conversation without the fear of death or reprisal or demonization. We need to be able to do this stuff, because if we don't, then the country's not going to work. America's going to fail if we don't fix this discord. Now, I do agree with you. You can't unite with people who want you dead, but we need to unite. Not everyone thinks that way. And the people that don't think that way, we need to unite and be stronger voice of reason that pushes that culture and puts an end to it.
Do you know who that would be? Be like younger people. That's what Charlie Kirk was very effective at. Getting
younger people. His death is going to mobilize an entire generation and turn them into conservatives. Like it's going to be.
It's messed up though. It's crazy. Lunch. I remember I watched Bill Nye the Science Guy in school, right? And remember he had the 2 genders thing. Remember that? The male chromosome and the female. This is Bill Nye back in the 90s. I saw this back in 2000 because obviously I was a little bit too young. I was born in 96, right? So I wasn't around for the original airings for some of those episodes, but I saw that about the 2 genders. That was on Netflix. And then they pulled it because the sponsors bitched about it.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you have advertisers. Like bringing on advertisers means you have sponsors, and if they don't like certain content that you're putting out on your platform, they go, yeah, you remove that or we're removed. That's how it kind of works. But I don't know where we go past this point. I mean, the guy that did this, I would like if we got answers because we would kind of. He's crazy. I get it. He might lie whenever he is questioned. I don't know. But if we can kind of get in the mindset of what made this person just fucking snap on a whim like that and then plan all this to happen, maybe we can stop the next person, because just offing them is worthless because we just won't get any information out of him. Extract all the information. Then if you want to get rid of him, go ahead. Because this could be something that happens to another person, and at this point, this is the only thing I really criticized Charlie on, that people said I don't criticize him, but I actually did a lot of things. One thing that I did criticize him on, I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead or anything, but if he knew he was getting all these death threats, you got to just not do the college thing anymore.
He should have learned from Trump. He should have learned from Trump when the assassinate. Oh, I'm sorry, MSK. Go ahead.
You're fine. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that the problem was, like, remember when Trump got attempted assassinated, right?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
that should have been a wake up call for some of these people. That's if you're going to do this shit, do it indoors.
And
do a radio show or
you
like
saw
you said.
Remember, he was like sometimes he wasn't even outside. He was in like the dormitory cafeteria area.
Yeah, cafeteria or an auditorium or
that's the only thing that I would criticize him. That's the only thing that I truly would really get on him about. It's like, dude, if you knew Steven Crowder did it too. Steven Crowder said, like, his chat asked him, why don't you do the college open debates anymore? Like, change my mind. He's like, I was getting a lot of death threats and I just kind of, since people get more crazy, you have to kind of change how you move with these crazy people, or because he did the live show, the Charlie Kirk show, have just a call-in show then. Do it that way, I mean, it's too late now, but he was always someone that he wanted to talk to you face to face. He wanted to feel who he was talking to. So it's not going to change now. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, but goddamn, man.
Plus, those guys have a philosophy, and Ben Shapiro recently said it when he was talking about Charlie Kirk, is that to them, not going and doing those shows under the threat of death is a betrayal to everything they stand for. Like they want to face the threat of death to make sure to get their debate and their ideas out there, because essentially these guys are getting threatened the people are getting threatened to death over their ideas and their positions. And to these people, that, like, to me, like me personally, I'm like, I ain't doing no more colleges. For F that. I'm going to be on my podcast and I'm going to have security guards around me and a shotgun loaded.
Yeah.
You're going to have a radio station with security guards or like a school building with security. Yeah, absolutely. I would fucking do that too.
Though, and Kirk was one of them, that to them, they're like, no, I'll face death in the face. And if it happens, then it's God's will. And they'll move on, and hopefully their message will inspire. And we haven't even seen the repercussions of what happened.
Good night, Laps. I'm going to
Good
go
night,
watch
night.
Power Rangers because I'm a giant man child. Power Rangers and comic books are for nerds. Laps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sleep
that's
time. It's
awesome.
like 2 a.m. for you. Yeah, it's like 2 a.m. for you. Good lord.
Yeah, it's almost 2:00 for me because I'm in the northeast coast. But
Really?
I'm
Oh,
gonna
what state are you in?
in Connecticut.
You're in the same state Chaz is in? That's fucking
I didn't.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, I
my
didn't know Chaz is from Connecticut, but that's
Chaz from
pretty cool.
Connecticut. Yep, yeah. You guys get. Oh my goodness. You guys,
Nerds for life, Laps.
if you ever meet Chaz, tell him I'm a rich, hot, good-looking white man.
Sure thing. I'll pull the Uncle Ruckus for you, buddy.
No, because he lives in Stanford, I think actually.
Yeah, that's rich. That's the rich area of Connecticut, dude. I'm not even there.
Or maybe he does. Does he live in Stanford? I forgot where he says. It's
Either
Chaz.
Greenwich
Talk,
or
I just don't listen.
Stanford or Bridgeport. Those are like the rich people areas, man.
No, he's not rich. No,
Or
he's
West
not
Hartford.
Stanford,
No. But no. I'm not saying he's rich. I'm saying those are like the rich / wealthy area. Yes,
Oh,
dude.
okay.
I think Donald Trump used to live over there.
It's fucking
And I know that the
crazy.
McMahons, the ones who own WWE or did, not anymore,
Oh,
they
well,
lived in Stanford / Greenwich, Connecticut, dude.
one sec. You love Warren. You don't love God. Okay, it's all good. It's all good. I'm not doing this tonight. But guys, don't tell Chad. Don't send this to Chaz. This clip. Where does Chaz? I forgot what city he told me he lived in Connecticut. I think he might keep that a secret because of people. But I know he's in Connecticut. He always claims he goes to New York every single week. Oh, every so often. Can you get to New York easy? Because he says he can get it through there by train like an hour.
I mean, you could with a train, or you could, if you have a certain type of car, or take a bus, there's no point of taking a plane or a helicopter unless you're like
Helicopter? You rich and famous?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, unless you're Donald Trump or Vince McMahon, you're not going to need a fucking plane or a helicopter to go to fucking from Connecticut to New York or vice versa.
What about
That's fucking
Ridgecrest?
ridiculous. I don't know,
That's
man.
a really ghetto area.
Well, there's a ghetto in Stanford, dude. The reason why I know this is because Jake the Snake Roberts, the pro wrestler, he talks like this. Kind of sounds like Solid Snake a little bit.
I remember,
He's like, yeah, you do the DDT. He went to the ghetto of Stanford, Connecticut to buy drugs. I'm not even joking. He went to the ghetto. There is a ghetto in Stanford, Connecticut. Not too big, but big enough where you could, there's a hood there and you could buy drugs. That was the craziest revelation. I'm like, wait a minute. I live in Connecticut and I know of Stanford. I didn't know there was a fucking ghetto in Stanford, Connecticut.
There's always a ghetto everywhere.
I know,
everywhere.
but like a place like that, like where fucking businesses are, like, come on, man.
Giant crackhead. Oh my God. But Chad's gonna watch and be like, man, you forgot where I live? Yeah, I did, because you're right, honestly. But I don't know. There's the world is so hard to the world's not hard per se. It's just I do think the advent of social media is kind of pouring over into the real world. Like you see these same thing that Charlie used to do, but these people would you have a person who walk into a few college kids on a campus all day asking them, hey, what do you think about this? The amount of people I've seen walk up to college kids and ask them, hey, Charlie Kirk got assassinated. How do you feel? Some people saying deserved. Some people say he had it coming. Some people say like, oh, he kept poking the bear. Guys, we're not animals, okay?
Yeah, we're not fucking animals, okay?
Yeah.
I may have an avatar picture of a fucking animal man from a video game, but we're not fucking animals, okay? We're not fucking savages.
I hear people say like, yeah, we're you're poking the bear. Animals act on shitting, eating, hunting, and mating.
And fucking, which is mating.
So you saying me? Oh, just joking. Like we are not animals. I hate people.
We're not.
And keep in mind, even if he did poke the bear, that still doesn't mean you get to lose your life.
Yeah,
an animal, I
deserves to die.
understand. An animal, I
deserves to die like
understand
that.
because an animal doesn't think like we do. An animal is just purely based off instinct.
Absolutely. I have a dog.
Yeah.
I have a Chihuahua, right? He's cute looking, right? But remember, just because he's tiny, right? If I run out of food for a certain amount of time, he's gonna fucking eat me. I know that. Or try to. Dude, that's the reality. It doesn't matter because I remember watching a video years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, you know about your dog, right? Even if they're tiny, mid, or large, just because they're like the cute little, adorable, that doesn't mean the moment you run out of food, they're gonna turn on you eventually. they're gonna eat you or try to
Yeah.
eat you. So just because they're cute domesticated wolves, they're wolves, dude. They're jackals.
I'll eat my parents' chihuahua way before it gets to
You're
that.
Yeah,
never gonna do that.
I'd eat
No,
my
I don't
dog
believe
before
it.
even, I love my dog, but he'll be eaten before I'd be eaten. Just
My dad's got one of those ninja grills, and oh yeah, we'll just throw him in there. Yeah,
if it was my life, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, pup. You're gotta go. I ain't gonna be killed by you. Fuck that.
Oh my
about an
God,
hour
dude.
into the apocalypse, I think I'll start eating the dog.
And then you have Donald Trump. He's eating the cats. He's eating the dogs.
He's eating the dogs.
What was that video? It was like eat the cat, eat the cat. I was like,
yeah.
that was that's
Dude, there
funny,
was
man.
there was a YouTube channel. It was Tim Pool's like spinoff. I don't agree with Tim Pool's on certain things, but like there was a, I think, Pop Culture Crisis or whatever.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was a music piece, eating the cat. I'm eating, and it was like a club song, like a hip hop club song. I'm like, dude, I'd love to have this on my fucking MP3.
Oh
On
God.
my MP4, like it was fucking awesome. It's like, dude, this could be played at a fucking club and nobody would bat an eye.
Oh, Nancy Pelosi had some words about rhetoric. From there was this Fox News, it was a press conference she was at or whatever, and this was the last thing we're gonna go over for the night because I am very tired. I've been at work for literally 14 hours. I need to get some sleep. Last thing we're gonna cover is Nancy Pelosi says Democrats can't take responsibility for their rhetoric against conservatives because it wasn't their intention for violence to ensue. Says, and I quote, "We can't take responsibility for the minds that are out there and how they hear it." That's just every woman in general, but just
It's like,
Yeah.
bullshit.
yeah, it's like whoa. So, see, this is the thing with actions. Actions are different than words to a certain extent. But if you, this is what I talked about on the last show we did on Wednesday, the seed thing. Yeah, you call someone a Yahtzee or a white nationalist or white supremacist once, doesn't really matter, right? Now imagine constantly calling them that 10 years straight, every single broadcast. What effect do you think that would have on people? That long time, words can have an effect. I'm not saying that they're violent. I'm saying that they can have an effect on you.
It did with Vic Mignogna when they called him a grapist in a PDF file for like years. I'm not even exaggerating. He had to sue them. He had no choice.
I remember that story.
That was affecting his money and his business. He can't be. He's going to do voiceover. Oh, you're a PDF file. You're a grapist. We can't hire you.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy world we're going to be living in.
Speaking of crazy world, Lucas, from Amazing Lucas, I lost a lot of respect for that guy. I'm sorry. Like he literally was like, it's like he didn't want to lose some of his audience, right?
I was saying, yeah.
I get it, dude. It's your shtick. You're kind of trying to be in the middle, but you're not. I hate that, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm neutral. I'm
people
neutral.
in the middle can be frustrating. Yeah,
it's not necessarily he's in the middle. I'm okay with being in the middle. I'm kind of in the middle with things, but it's almost like he's not in the middle. It's more like he's secretly on one side. That's something I don't like. He called Kirk he called him a racist or implied it because he said some questionable things. Maybe they were tasteless jokes. Maybe he was a little bigoted, but that doesn't mean he doesn't deserve to be talked about. I'm not going to cry for Kirk, but let his family, let his friends, let his colleagues that he worked with cry for them.
Yeah, and a few more things before we head out because it's late. We'll start with Kingstyle, our featured guest tonight. Anything you want to say before we head out, actually?
Well, I'm just saying I'm glad to be on a Friday night. Well, technically it's Saturday over here, but I hopefully in the future I can come by again and maybe it'd be a little earlier.
What are you, like my dad? God damn.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like it was 11:30 and then it went to 12 and then 12:30 and then it kept getting later. It's fine, dude.
Yeah, my wife was using me for her sexual pleasure. Just saying.
Yes, let's go with that. Yes.
Yeah, I was getting my stock pregnant. It takes time.
Yes, let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Oh God, Lunchbox Warren. Anything you want to let the audience know about before we head out?
Just catch me on my YouTube channel on Tuesday for another draw stream. And that's about it. I mean, Wednesday and Friday, I'll be here next week. And on Tuesday, catch me on my draw stream. And just be kind to each other, show some compassion, and let's get through these dark times and make the world a little bit better.
Yep. And as for me, so the MSK show episode that I usually have on Saturdays with Laps Comic Fan, we're not going to have it this Saturday because he's going to be out with a friend doing something. So we're going to do it Sunday. So our show is just pushed to the next day. That's it. So tomorrow I'll just do a game stream in the day at some point or in the night when I get off work. After I get done watching League of Legends, because I usually watch a lot of the games, and then I have NFL to watch now and, a bunch of other things to do in my life because I'm a very, very very, very rich, successful man, No one thought that.
Rich bitch, man. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You're a rich bitch.
Time to rephrase all this. So, oh, God. No Saturday MSK show with Laps Comic Fan. It's going to be Sunday. We're going to do a comic book review on Superman Unlimited #1. Moving forward into the new week, we're gonna try and bring back the movies, TV, anime, streaming, video game news, and all that stuff to like kind of brighten up the mood. Obviously,
Gotcha.
It's been a very, very sour, depressing last 6-7 days. Holy fuck! Went from that Ukrainian girl to this. God damn.
No lie, dude. I thought you were gonna review the Ninja Turtles and Naruto. I literally read more than 3 volumes just if we were good. I swear I read that. I'm like,
still are.
I would have loved to talk about Ninja Turtles and Naruto, but this is important.
Don't worry. Keep the knowledge in your head. Just put.
We don't want to turn this show into InfoWars freaking MSK style. Let's go back to talking about the funny stuff.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of retarded.
It turned the frogs gay.
Yeah. So Monday, probably game stream, then an MSK show. Tuesday, the Spectacular MSK on my comic book channel, and then Cloud9 podcast, and then Wednesday MSK show, then Thursday game stream, then Friday MSK show, Saturday MSK show usually. So yeah, Charlie Kirk did a lot of good in the world. A lot of people hate him, a lot of people love him, but that's gonna be how life is. There's people that are gonna like you and people that are gonna hate you for whatever reason. Now, if you get as powerful as Charlie Kirk was and as he was rising in influence, man, that must mean at this point now you must get assassinated for doing this cardinal sin of wanting to have open conversation. That's it.
It's messed up.
No crimes committed.
The messed up part is I heard this great saying: if you have a lot of haters, you're doing good in the world, right?
I did hear that. That's a thing. That's a good thing.
I mean, it's true to an extent, but
to
the point that
hater. I don't want that hater.
Not to the point that your life is threatened. But if you got some haters, that means you're getting some fans eventually. So you got to keep going on that path. Not everybody's going to agree with you, and that should be the lesson in life. Just because somebody doesn't like you for your views or doesn't agree with you, that doesn't mean you're going to go on a rampage or get angry, or you let them get on a rampage on you. You got to protect yourself out here, people. By any means. I don't care what anybody says. Like
they are the enemy.
In Canada, you can't defend yourself because you go to jail, or in the UK, you go to jail for
you retweet something wrong.
There was a girl with a hatchet and a knife protecting her and her sister from getting raped.
Yeah, I remember that. And then they punish her because
Yeah, she had to go to jail too with them because she had to protect her sister and herself. So it's disgusting.
That's what I always tell you guys at this point now, after seeing what happened to Charlie Kirk. Make sure you stay safe and make sure that, you are mindful of your surroundings. Oh, fucking hell. Goodness gracious, choking on cock here. Good Lord. God, my throat just cracked under all the semen I had on my throat.
It's water, dude. You got to drink a lot of water.
Are you saying I'm a thirsty thought? That was just
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when anybody talks a lot, we all gotta we gotta drink fresh water. That's all I'm saying.
Fresh. Yep. And my wife led me to drink fresh water out of her vagina. So, God. So, all things considered, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. but we have to move on in life. This is going to be talked about forever, so there's no moving on from it. That's just my wishful thinking. That's never going to happen, but you know.
You know, the worst part is this was yesterday was 9/11, right? And the
Yeah.
disturbing part is that if this was 20 years later, if 9/11 happened 9/11 2021 or whatever, people would say those people deserved it, and it's sickening.
That's
They
a sad world
probably
to
would.
live in.
They
Yeah.
would have said that. They would have said, "Oh, or were they lefties? Oh, well, they didn't deserve to die. Were they a part of the right? Well, they did."
Actual
What
crazy thing.
That's what they
Yeah.
would have said.
So yeah, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Hopefully the
R.I.P.
wife
Charlie.
will. Hopefully Erica will. Just take your time. Don't rush into anything. Just take your
My
time.
thoughts on
All I can
prayers
say.
for his family, for Charlie's wife and
Any of the
his
loved
two
ones, like
children,
his mom, his dad,
his mom, his
grandma.
dad, any siblings if he has siblings, because I don't know that, but he might. Let them be at ease as best they can.
So thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show.